I saw a photograph from 10 years back.
Why are we afraid of vulnerability? We are afraid of being who we truly are because what if nobody likes it? Being vulnerable makes you relatable. People open up once you choose to open up. However, that's difficult and people are afraid of being truly vulnerable. So, fear and uncertainty, how do those play into identity and how we portray ourselves? Where do these big words come from? Fear and uncertainty, they're big concepts. So let's deconstruct those a little bit. Past experiences and what we perceive to be failures are things that make up fear and uncertainty. So the potential and expectations that other people place on us, those also contribute. And we also are designed with an intense desire for individuality and uniqueness. However, there is some good news in overcoming fear and uncertainty and discovering your identity. So, past experiences and what we perceive to be failures, how do these play a part? Well, when I was graduating high school, I made the decision to go across the country and go to Baylor University in Texas. This was 16 hours from home, and I realized that it wasn't truly what I wanted and what I was looking for when my parents drove 16 hours back home. I perceived this to be a failure because I had made this decision and I had committed to it and I was turning my back. I was choosing to come home and to leave college because it wasn't what I wanted and I realized that it wasn't where I was supposed to be. So because I perceived this to be a failure, it impacted how I saw myself and how I discovered my identity. Coming home, taking a gap semester, working full-time were all things that I never saw myself doing in the middle of my college career. And I perceive that to be a failure. So being really vulnerable right now, it makes you relatable. People open up once they realize that you are human, that you make mistakes, but it is extremely challenging. So fear and failure also lead to stress. So you can choose to pick up stress, but I think it's important to determine and differentiate between what is a challenging situation and what is stressful. So does this situation challenge me or am I stressed out about it? I don't always need to choose to pick up stress surrounding a situation or your circumstances. So it's important to ask yourself, is this necessary? Do I need to be stressed out about this? Also, the potential and expectations of other people that they place on you contribute to fear. So what have people said to you or spoken over your life? People have said to me, you are genuine, you truly listen to people, and you are authentic. You are intentional, and you want to invest in other people. So the words that people say carry weight. What do you carry with you because of what someone said to you? Are you living like you have something to prove? What am I trying to prove, and to whom? I sometimes feel the need to prove who I am, and feel the need to justify the decisions that I make. My entire life, I looked up to my dad. I saw him as one of the strongest figures in my life, strongest people that I know. He always made himself seem so smart, and I looked up to him. I still do to this day. However, I always felt the need to prove to him that I was intelligent and that I was smart enough to handle and conquer any situation. Because of this, it impacts how I see myself. Sometimes when I do not put in enough effort into a situation, I see that I am not trying hard enough and that I am not succeeding, and that is something that is so important to me and proves really my desire to perform. I realized this in my relationship with my sister. She's my younger sister. I love her to death, and I'm so proud of the person and the woman that she is and she has become. She made the decision not to attend college, but she now works full-time in Northeast Minneapolis. To me, this is success, and I have to recognize that yes, she is strong, but her path is different from mine. I am graduating college and I will find a full-time job, and there is a plan in place for my life, but I am just in the discovery process. We should not let identity become idolatry, to quote Joe Delagrave. We do not need to give in to this individualistic society. These things all lead to an intense self-focus, focus on ourselves and who we need to be. A desire for individuality and identity is also something that plays a part in this role of overcoming fear. When we focus on the relationships that are important to us and we invest in other people, we pour into conversations, we listen well, and we listen intentionally, these are all things that place a desire to focus on other people and to serve others, and that can help overcome this overwhelming mindset of inadequacy and insecurity that occurs when we focus on ourselves. There is good news. We can overcome this fear and discover what makes us unique. There is hope when we give ourselves grace. Give yourself grace because you are your own worst critic. The words that you play in your mind, the words that you speak over yourself, you can choose whether to have positive self-talk or negative self-talk. So recognize that sometimes you are your own worst critic, and the things that you are speaking to yourself are not what other people see in you. So, as we conclude, as we wrap this up, identity, who am I? Ask yourself this question. When I grew up, I remember always striving to be the best, striving to be the most intelligent, working hard in classes because that is where I excelled. My parents told me, Allie, you are smart and that is who you are. And so I placed that desire to perform in my head. So what am I trying to prove? I feel the need to prove that I am competent and I am intelligent. And as I approach college graduation and I'm looking to the future career and where I want to end up, these are things that I have to constantly ask myself. I also feel the need to demonstrate my strength and downplay my femininity, but that's a whole other conversation. Allie, you said a lot of really nice things, but how does this practically play out in someone's life? Great question. Let me give you an example. So this is what overcoming fear and discovering identity looks like in my life. I've had to ask myself, what am I trying to prove? Recognize my past experiences and what I perceive to be failures, coming back from Baylor, choosing to attend Northwestern where all of my family has gone, and choose that this is my own path, this is where God has me right now, this is His decision for my life. So many great things have come out of me coming to Northwestern, whether it be becoming an RA, discovering some of my best friends, knowing that this is truly where God has me. I am so excited to graduate and to live in Minnesota and to find a job where I can be close to my family and close to the Twin Cities and close to my friends that I've made over the years. So I'm really excited about that. How does this look like in your own life? Take what I've said today and break it down and discover, do any of these things actually relate to me? If not, there's no pressure there. These are deep topics. Luckily, Rome was not built in a day, and you do not need to know exactly who you are right at this moment. So give yourself grace, because now you know how to overcome fear.
We were kids back then, thinking we would live forever. We were kids back then. We were wild and free, taking on